What's going on, everyone? This is Dom, and today we're checking out this guy, which is the LG Watch Sport. And this is a pretty new release in the Android Wear space, specifically with the launch of Android Wear 2.0. That's on this guy right here, as well as the LG Style, which is another smartwatch that came out at the same time as this one. So, is this worth your money? Well, let's go ahead and find out. So this is the first smartwatch that we've seen from LG in quite some time, and being launched with Android Wear 2.0, it's kind of a big deal if you're into smartwatches. But there's one big problem I have with this smartwatch, and that is the design. It's just really boring, and it's super thick and bulky, and I'm not a huge fan of it overall, but let's break that down into some details. So first off, one of my biggest issues here is the lack of a replaceable band on this guy, and that may not be a big deal to everyone, but if you think about this band is kind of a, I don't know, flimsy, rubbery feeling thing, and eventually it's gonna wear down and start looking ugly, and maybe some of the finish will start to peel off and stuff like that. So just something to keep in mind. I'm not too happy that a $350 watch doesn't come with a replaceable band, especially when competition on the market like, well, the Samsung Gear S3 Frontier does. Watch bands aside, my second biggest issue, or thickest issue, is the size of this thing. It is ginormous. This thing is so thick, I can't get over how much it sits up off my wrist. I'm not a big fan of that whatsoever. It is definitely the thickest smartwatch I have ever seen, and on top of that, it has a pretty bland design. It just doesn't seem like anybody spent a lot of time at the drawing board kind of figuring out what this thing was gonna look like. A couple of other things to mention about the hardware is the fact that we have a heart rate sensor on the back, which is nice, but kind of expected at this point, I guess. And one of the cooler features with the LG Watch Sport and Style is the ability to navigate it using the crown on the side. So you can rotate this crown to be able to navigate through the menus, your notifications, and you can press it in to access your app list and things like that. And we do have a couple of other buttons up here, one on the top that will allow you to access your workouts, and the second one on the bottom that will launch Android Pay. And that's cool and all, but it really doesn't make up for the lack of an inspiring design here. Another downside for me in terms of wearing it is because the band is not replaceable, it's actually really rigid up here at the top side. Not the biggest deal in the world, a personal preference. Overall, the thickness, with the design and the rigidness, it's just not something that I can definitely recommend to you. So enough with all that negativity, let's go ahead and talk about some of the awesome points that this smartwatch has to offer. And unfortunately, that mostly comes down to software, which is Android Wear 2.0. So Android Wear 2.0 has had a huge design refresh. It's got a nice dark theme to it. It is very super fluid. I'm a big fan of that. It actually feels very competitive with everything else that's on the market now. It doesn't seem as glitchy to me like it has been on previous releases of smartwatches. It's just overall very fine-tuned. So along with the fluidity, Android Wear 2.0 also features things like standalone apps, a native Google Play Store, we have better notifications, and even a keyboard here and quick reply for messages and things like that, which is awesome. But one of my favorite features here is the addition of Android Pay. So yes, you can pay right with your watch, just put it up to the terminal and you're good to go. It's pretty awesome to have right here on a smartwatch, and on top of all of that, this is connected. So I have a SIM card in here, and this thing is connected to the internet, and it can actually work by itself away from my phone. So if somebody calls my phone, it'll actually ring straight to this watch, and I can answer it from the watch and be able to talk to the person on the other end, which is a great feature. And along with that, you can utilize any of these standalone apps and things like that on here without having to be connected directly to a smartphone. Couple of other side notes here. The watch faces do now feature complications, which is nice, so you can customize things a little more. And we do have Google Assistant here as well, which will work with the OK Google command, which is pretty neat. So that pretty much wraps it up with Android Wear 2.0, and the only thing left to talk about with the LG Watch Sport is the battery life. So you're definitely gonna have to charge this thing every single day, no doubt about that, but sometimes I felt it was a stretch to make it through an entire day. But that's with the amount of notifications and interactions I have with this watch, and that's gonna vary from person to person, so not really gonna ding it for that. But what I am gonna ding this watch for is that damn thickness. This thing is a beast on my wrist, and it's cool that it has connectivity and Android Pay and stuff like that, but at this rate, I'd rather strap my wallet to my wrist and wear it around, because holy crap, this thing is thick. I think LG needs to go back to the drawing board and compare this with the S3 Frontier, because even that, as thick as it is a little bit thinner than this watch. And I can't recommend this at $350. But I don't know, let me know what you think about the LG Watch Sport in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Thanks again for watching, everyone. This is Dom, and I'll catch you in the next video.